Hello my people, welcome. My people, did you know that in some African country, in a rare historical cases, a man could abduct a woman for forced marriages? However, today this is considered illegal and it's strongly condemned. Today we are exploring some of the most surprising culture in Africa that you must know before you get married to any African. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where it's really hard to come out, especially some of these African culture, like once you are in, it's now hard to come out. You now have to you have to be in. So that's why I want to talk about it today, so that you at least try to do some research before you marry someone. Do some research. You don't want to find yourself in a place where you can't come out, and it is a must. You must do it. And I've seen a lot of people become in dilemma. They don't know what to do. Yes. So sit down and watch up to the end. Number 1, virginity testing. In some community, young women are tested for virginity. In some community, young women are tested before marriage. This practice is now highly controversial and it's criticized. For me, some of them will shock you, because I saw one lady who was crying because the boyfriend, because she didn't you see, that's why before you marry someone you have to do research. She didn't know what she got herself into. So for her, before the husband could marry her, the father of the groom need to first sleep with her. Yeah. And this one need to be they have to go in a room where they make the bed. There has to be a white sheet, so that after the father-in-law sleep with her, if she's a virgin, there has to be a blood. If there's no blood, then she can't marry. So I saw this lady, she was crying. She said there's no way she can sleep with her father-in-law. She was really crying. She was she cannot. And the husband was saying, you must. She said, no, there's no way I can do it. So even for me, I can never do that, even if I love you nothing. So you need to learn certain culture before you get married to any African person. You don't want to find yourself in this kind of situation. Know their culture, learn their culture very well. The second shocking culture that you must know before you get married, I saw this one, is spitting on your face. So this is happening with Maasai. The Maasai they like to spit on their people. For them, it's a sign of a blessing thing and a sign of accepted. I saw one woman, she was a white lady. She married to this Maasai man, and then so before they could accept her in that, they could allow this young man to marry her. She was one time all the traditional men, they came around and they surrounded her, and the way of blessing her, the way of accepting her or acknowledging her, they split. Everyone was splitting on her face. Oh my God. So my people, if it was you, would you accept that? Because for me, I would not accept that. Imagine everyone spitting on you, even though I don't know, whatever they put in their mouth before they split. I would not accept that. So you need to first know this many culture before you get married to an African person. Even African themselves, before you get married to somebody, know the culture very well. You don't want to find yourself shocked, in that kind of situation. For me, I will not accept that. Yeah, as we also have our culture, but I will not accept that. That's why they say what is good for me might not be good for you. Come on guys, this is disclaimer. I'm this is just educational. So what I'm saying is, what is good for me might not be good for you. What is good for you might not be good for me. So it's good. You have to first do research before you marry into any tribe or any culture. Need to do some research. Make sure you accept that kind of culture before you get married to them. Yeah. The third shocking tradition you need to know before you get married into farting room traditional. Among the Efik people in Nigeria, where brides are kept in a certain room and are encouraged to gain weight before marriage. As for them, this symbolizes beauty and wealth. So imagine if you are for me, I live in the UK, we are always fighting. You don't want to gain weight, you're fighting to lose weight. And then you go to marry this person that you choose, and then they need to keep you in certain room. You have to gain weight. They need to gain weight first before they can marry you. Imagine you find yourself in that situation. What are you gonna do? Okay? What are you gonna do? Learn many culture before you get married into, please. The fourth one, in some community, rare, although some are not now, they're trying to they're not following some, but medication, you are not allowed to take any medication. You don't take any medication. You you're not allowed any injection. You cannot take any medication. You just like have to be like that. And like you see some, like when some religion, you see they don't accept blood transfusion and all that. It's the same in some traditional. You're not allowed to take any medication. Imagine you find yourself in a situation like that. Do research first before you get married to somebody. And then the fifth one is like marriage, like when you're married to your husband. Whenever your husband is away, his brothers, so like you say your husband, your wife to your husband, but once the husband is not there, any of his brother can take over. They can sleep with you. You can become their wife. That is mean keeping their wife, keeping their brother's wife safe, their brother's property safe. So my brother's property is my property. Imagine you find yourself in that situation. So please do your research first before you marry anybody in Africa. I don't know other. I'm talking because of Africa because I come from Africa. So I don't know other also they might have that, but I'm now talking about Africa here today. So make sure you do research. Don't be surprised. Make sure you first you're into any relationship within someone in Africa. Do research before you marry them. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you can't come out. It's very, like I saw that lady, she was crying. She was like, I cannot sleep with my father-in-law, like the way I said before. So do your research before you marry anyone in Africa. Yes. The sixth one, bride price or lobola. In some country like South Africa, like my country, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and others, bride price can be expensive. Especially, I've seen like even South Sudan, I've seen like really like very expensive, because like they may ask you to take like 100 cows or even more. You will have to take cows and many other things, plus also money, lots of money. Especially when the girl is educated, they may ask for a lot of money or gifts to the bride's families. It's about unity. This is not about buying the woman. It's about respect and unity between these two families. Like for this happen also in my culture, you have to pay the bride price to the bride's family. Another one is widow inheritance. In another culture, when a husband died, the brother takes over. The brother marry the woman who is a widow now. This one is meant to protect and keep the family strong. But today, many people question that. Like imagine like you're married to your husband and then there are other brothers. Maybe even, when you marry someone, doesn't mean that you will like the brothers. You may not even like them, but you will be forced to marry them. If you don't marry, they'll take everything from you. They will just disgrace you. They will ban you from the family. They'll take away everything from you. So you need to like really learn before you get married to many cultures. And then polygamy. This one I know many people knows about this, but still I will talk about it here. In many African culture, a man can have multiple women. While it's still practiced in many areas, modern views are now changing rapidly. Not many are accepting it anyway, but it's still like a lot for many. Yeah. Another one, child betrothal. In the past, some family may arrange children marriages when they're still very young. It's still practiced but very rare now. This was mainly to strengthen family ties, or might be like in terms of business. They just want to keep the business within them. However, this is now widely being discouraged. Another shocking one is brass ring. Like from when a child or a girl is young, they'll put ring around their neck to like make their neck long, because they believe that when a girl has a long neck, she look prettier. So even though now is not so much encouraged, so you have to, like I said, you have to really be very careful before you marry into any culture or any traditional, any African country. Be careful what you're putting yourself into. There are also other shocking culture that like they believe in cows like so much, in cattle, so they even like drink blood as for their breakfast, or even eat blood as for their food. So they like really depend mostly on their cattle. So some of that kind of thing also, you need to like be aware of some kind of that culture. And then some culture like where that like a visitor is allowed to like sleep with their wives. So like this, like the himba Pemba and over Jembe. They kind of like, when you visit them, they will give you their wife. You sleep with their wife in the same room. So that night, our husband will sleep in another room or outside. They will give you their wife. You sleep with their wife. This is like to show like this is to prevent jealousy and to bring friendship and social bonding within that community. And even worse one I've seen, like some culture, you cannot, you as a couple, you cannot cheat. Especially if you cheat, either your husband or wife is gonna die, or they will be struck with a very bad sickness. The sickness will be on them slowly until it kills them. So you can never cheat, or you either go mad or you die. And then some culture, I've seen this one also in South Sudan, like a scarring of the body. As a woman, your body will be like scar everywhere, will marks like drawing of animals, of lots of things all over the body, scarring, like you know when they're doing that, it will be very painful and even you'll be bleeding. I don't know how they do tattoo, but it's something like that, like tattoo, but then this one is done locally with like maybe, I don't know, razor or what, but it's very painful. They will scar you all over the body, and this one shows like strength, it shows beauty. So if you're a woman and you've not done that, nobody's gonna marry you. But if they've done that, they know that's mean you can when it come to have children, you can have children because you're strong. As a man also, it shows strength, power, so if you don't have it, you can't marry anybody. So my people, I thought I should let you know, let me like educate you or give you this information that before you marry, some of these things maybe we don't take them seriously, but before you marry, try to learn where you're gonna marry into. Even for your children, let them first learn this thing before they marry into any culture, into any African country culture, into any traditional. Let them first know, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where it's like death and life. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you like ask yourself, why did I do this? What can I do? Why did I make this mistake? That kind of thing. You already might be so much deep in love with somebody. So please do research before you marry somebody. I hope I've given some information to somebody out there. Hope I've helped somebody out there. This guy, I want to say thank you for clicking, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like and share. And also if you already subscribed, thank you so much. Please share with other people. Let everybody out there get to know, before you get married, know some of these shocking cultures in African country. Thank you and God bless. Yeah.